Nathan cross-checked his watch for the third time in 10 minutes. His blind date was now 20 minutes late. His 5-year-old daughter Sophie sat beside him in the booth, coloring on the paper menu with crayons the waitress had kindly provided. He shouldn't have brought Sophie. His sister had offered to watch her, but Sophie had those big hopeful eyes when she heard Daddy had a friend meeting them for lunch. She'd been asking for a new mommy ever since she started kindergarten and noticed all the other kids had 2 parents. Nathan's wife Rachel had died 3 years ago from cancer. Some days it felt like 3 decades. Other days it felt like yesterday. "Daddy, I'm hungry," Sophie said, not looking up from her coloring. "I know, sweetheart. Let's wait just a few more minutes." His phone buzzed. A text from the woman he was supposed to meet. "Sorry, can't make it. Something came up." Nathan closed his eyes. He'd known this was a bad idea. His business partner had set it up, insisting that Nathan needed to move on, that Sophie needed a mother figure. But you couldn't replace someone like Rachel. You couldn't just download a new wife like she was an app. "Daddy, look at that lady," Sophie whispered, pointing toward the counter. "Sophie." "It's not polite to point," Nathan said automatically. But he looked anyway. A young woman stood at the register, maybe late 20s, with honey blonde hair and a tired face. She wore a faded sundress that had seen better days, and she was counting change onto the counter while a toddler clung to her leg. The little boy couldn't have been more than 3, his face sticky with what looked like dried tears. "I'm sorry," the woman was saying to the cashier. "I thought I had enough. Can you take off the sandwich? We'll just share the soup." "Daddy, she looks sad," Sophie whispered. "Like you look sometimes when you think I'm sleeping." Nathan's chest tightened. His daughter was too perceptive for 5 years old. The woman gathered her soup and turned toward the seating area, searching for a table. Every booth and table was full except theirs. It was Saturday lunch rush, and the small cafe was packed with families. "Daddy," Sophie said suddenly, louder this time. "That lady looks like Mommy." Nathan looked again. She didn't really look like Rachel. Rachel had darker hair, different features. But there was something in the woman's expression, a gentle sadness mixed with determination, that reminded him of his wife during her illness. That look of someone fighting to stay strong for the person they loved. Before Nathan could stop her, Sophie had climbed down from the booth and walked over to the woman. "Excuse me?" Sophie said in her clear, confident voice. "Would you and your little boy like to sit with us?" "We have room and my daddy's friend didn't come." The woman looked startled. She glanced at Nathan, then back at Sophie. "Oh, sweetheart, that's very kind, but we're fine," she said gently. "But all the tables are full," Sophie insisted. "And your boy looks hungry. We have a big booth." Nathan stood and walked over, embarrassed, but also moved by his daughter's compassion. "I'm sorry," he said. "My daughter is very forward. But she's right. We have plenty of room if you'd like to join us. No pressure." The woman looked at the crowded cafe, then down at her son, who was starting to whimper again. She looked exhausted, like someone barely holding it together. "Are you sure?" she asked quietly. "Please," Sophie said, taking the woman's free hand. "I want to share my crayons." That decided it. The woman allowed Sophie to lead her to their booth. Nathan helped her settle in, and Sophie immediately pushed her crayons across the table to the little boy. "I'm Nathan," he said, extending his hand. "And this is Sophie." "I'm Olivia," the woman said, shaking his hand. "And this is my son, Jake." "Hi, Jake," Sophie said brightly. "Do you like to color? I'm drawing a princess castle." Jake nodded shyly and picked up a blue crayon. "So," Nathan said, trying to break the awkward silence, "do you come here often?" "I've never seen you before." "It's our first time," Olivia said. "I got a job interview nearby this morning. Thought we'd celebrate with lunch out. How did the interview go?" Olivia's expression clouded. "They offered me the position. Good pay, benefits. But it's full-time, and I can't afford childcare. The waiting list for subsidized care is 18 months long, so I had to turn it down." Nathan heard the weight of defeat in her voice. The same defeat he'd felt watching opportunities slip away while juggling single parenthood. "What kind of work?" he asked. "Administrative assistant at a law firm." "I have a business degree, but I've been out of the workforce for 3 years taking care of Jake. Nobody wants to hire someone with a gap that big on their resume. Daddy doesn't work anymore, Sophie announced helpfully. He stays home with me. That's not exactly true, sweetheart, Nathan said with a gentle smile. I work from home now. I used to have an office downtown, but after Mommy died, I needed to be with you more. Your wife passed away? Olivia asked softly. 3 years ago. Cancer. I'm so sorry. There was understanding in her eyes, the kind that only comes from personal experience with loss. You lost someone too, Nathan said. It wasn't a question, Olivia nodded. Jake's father. Car accident when I was 6 months pregnant. He never got to meet his son. They sat in silence for a moment while the children colored together, already comfortable in the way only children can be with each other. You know, Nathan said slowly, I run my own software company. Small operation, but we've been growing. I've been needing an administrative person to help manage things. Someone organized who can handle client communications, scheduling, billing. The job is mostly remote. You'd work from home with occasional meetings at my office. Olivia looked up sharply. Are you offering me a job because you feel sorry for me? I'm offering you a job because I need help and you need work. The fact that you can do it from home and be with Jake is just good timing for both of us. You don't even know if I'm qualified. You got offered a position at a law firm this morning. That tells me you're qualified. And more importantly, my daughter likes you. Sophie's a tough critic. It's true, Sophie said solemnly. I didn't like Daddy's last helper. She smelled like old flowers. Despite herself, Olivia laughed. It transformed her whole face, and Nathan caught a glimpse of who she must have been before grief and struggle had worn her down. Can I think about it? Olivia asked. Of course, but let me buy you both lunch first. A proper lunch, not just soup. I can't accept that. Why not? My date stood me up. I ordered way too much food. It'll just go to waste. Consider it a signing bonus if you take the job. Olivia looked at her son, who was happily coloring next to Sophie, and then back at Nathan. Why are you being so kind to us? Because someone was kind to me when I needed it most, Nathan said simply. After Rachel died, I was drowning. A neighbor I barely knew started bringing us dinner 3 times a week for 6 months. Wouldn't take no for an answer. She said grief is heavy enough without hunger added to it. I never forgot that kindness. They had lunch together. Sophie and Jake became instant friends the way children do. Olivia told Nathan about her education, her work history, her dreams of providing a stable life for her son. Nathan told her about his company, the work, what he needed. By the time they finished eating, Olivia had agreed to take the job. One condition, she said. You pay me fairly. Not charity rates, but not inflated ones either. Just what the position is worth. Deal, Nathan said, shaking her hand again. 3 months later, Olivia sat at her kitchen table, working on a client proposal while Jake played with blocks nearby. Her new laptop, provided by Nathan's company, hummed quietly. The job had changed everything. Regular income, health insurance for her and Jake, the ability to be home with her son. But more than that, she'd found friendship. Nathan checked in daily, not just about work, but about life. They'd started having lunch together once a week, bringing both kids. Sophie had declared Jake her best friend and insisted on regular playdates. Slowly, carefully, something was growing between Nathan and Olivia. Not rushing to fill the spaces left by loss, but building something new alongside the memory of what came before. I need to tell you something, Nathan said one afternoon after a lunch meeting. The kids were playing in his backyard while the adults sat on the deck. What's wrong? Olivia asked, concerned by his serious tone. Nothing's wrong. Everything's right. That's what scares me. He took a breath. When Sophie said you looked like Rachel that day in the cafe, I thought she just meant physically. But I realized later what she actually saw. She saw someone with the same gentle strength Rachel had. The same kindness. The same way of making people feel safe. Olivia's eyes filled with tears. I'm not trying to replace Rachel, Nathan continued. I'm not trying to replace Jake's father. But I am trying to tell you that you've become incredibly important to me. To us? You're important to us too, Olivia said softly. Jake asks about Mr. Nathan every day, and I find myself thinking about you more than I probably should for just an employer. You're not just an employee. You haven't been for a while now. They sat together in comfortable silence, watching their children play. Two broken families slowly healing, slowly becoming something new. A year after that chance meeting in the cafe, Nathan and Olivia stood in a small ceremony surrounded by friends and family. Sophie was the flower girl, tossing petals with dramatic flair. Jake was the ring bearer, taking his job very seriously. "We're not forgetting who we loved before," Nathan said in his vows. "We're honoring them by choosing to love again. By teaching our children that hearts can break and hearts can heal, and both things can be true at the same time." "You found me on my hardest day," Olivia said through tears, "when I'd almost given up hoping things would get better. Your daughter's kindness opened a door I didn't know I was looking for. Thank you for seeing me when I felt invisible." That night after the celebration, Sophie climbed into bed and looked up at her father with satisfied eyes. "I told you she looked like Mommy," she said. "Yes, you did, sweetheart." "Not her face, Daddy. Her heart. Mommy had a kind heart. So does Olivia." Nathan kissed his daughter's forehead, marveling at how 5-year-olds could sometimes see what adults missed because Sophie had been right all along. Sometimes the people who look like home aren't the ones who share the same features. They're the ones who share the same capacity for love, for kindness, for seeing the best in broken things and helping them heal. And sometimes blind dates don't work out because better plans are already unfolding. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about second chances and healing. Comment below and tell us about a time a child's innocence helped you see something you'd been missing. Sometimes our littlest ones have the biggest wisdom to share.